everyone. I hope you're having a great weekend. I have this up. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. The most powerful tool is your mind. And if you think you're not going to be able to do something, you will most likely make it so that it does not happen. Now, if you think you can, you will move mountains to make it happen. You know, it was 4 years ago that I was laid off in June, pregnant, 8 months pregnant with our first daughter, and I was like, I have to find a way to be able to work from home and be present for our daughter, now daughters, plural, and it was a blessing in disguise. So sometimes those hard moments in life can definitely be a huge positive later on. It just looks like a major hurdle and speed bump in life, but many times those are in fact blessings and lessons to be learned. So keep a positive mindset. Know that you can do anything that you put your mind to. The first time that I realized that was when I did my first marathon way back in 1999, and it really changed how I was able to tackle everything. You can do it all, just a little bit, day by day, day by day. Keep grinding away, and before you know it, your goal and your dream will become your reality. I also wanted to let you guys know that I also have the watch list that is now $29.99 a month, and I want to go ahead and pull up some of the charts that really rocked it this week. So here we have fast, which you can see I had this on, excuse me, this is IntelliSat. So I had IntelliSat, which was on Thursday. I had it here. This is how I do my watch list, right? I have the charting of longs and shorts, potentially, depending on the momentum, that if it goes in ahead and it breaks that resistance for longs and support for shorts. AVGO was an amazing short that day too, whether you're short bias or long bias. So we had IntelliSat. I said, hey, if it breaks this resistance, which was pre-market resistance of 1821, I think it's going to continue higher. Look at that. Goes all the way up here, almost, they'll say 1975 for the day, and continued on up on Friday. So we have that one. We also have, I was looking for fast. Oh, for some reason it saved it here. We also had, let's see if I did. Let's see. So anyways, GLMD was another example. So we'll do GLMD. So here we have this. GLMD had it on Friday, potentially to break out above 1459, 9.6 million in the float and 57.4 short float volume from the day prior. So here I said, hey, if it breaks this level, 1459, which was the pre-market high when I was doing my list, then I think that that momentum is going to continue up. Well, sure enough, it ran up. I would say, position accordingly with 1365 as your potential stop, because that was what I thought would be the low if it were to break down. So you can see here it goes, breaks it and runs right on up to 1567. So over $1 move, which is pretty much just straight from the momentum. These other lines are for the watch list that I have going into the week. So you can see, guys, this is really totally worth it. $1 a day to get winners. I have no idea what I did. $1 a day to get winners that are basically performing. All you need is one a day. So if you'd had 30 shares of GLMD on Friday, you would have paid for the watch list yourself. So definitely check it out right here at cjandtrade.com. If you don't already follow me on Twitter, definitely follow me here too. I also have some interesting items that I post, some things that I'm getting in and out of, like NXPI. They are due to be bought out by Qualcomm by $127.50. That should be approved by July 25th. If not, they're going to have an $8 a share payout roughly, which is $2 billion, and they have 250 million shares. So that's one to watch. That's a longer term swing that I have going on. So we'll go ahead and get into the watch list for the week. As always, guys, I am not a licensed professional. I did have my license back in 2000, but it's not current. So please trade at your own risk, your own due diligence. This one we have right here that we have up first is Morningstar, MORN for the long. Now they have 18.4 million in the float, and it's 36.99% short float volume on Friday. You can see we sort of have a nice little cup and little handle here. We are at the 52-week high breakouts. You will see that many times these that do have the 52-week breakout will have a continuation for a little bit and then potentially a pullback. But I see this one's already broken out. It broke out from this level here of 135, ran up to 136.75, pulled back, and is on its way back up again. So I think this one, if it does break the 136 138 resistance level, that it should continue up to 136.75, 40 cents, and then potentially further from there. I would put a 135.77 as support for this one. And we'll look at it on the 1-year chart as well to show you that. You can see it's been trending upward mostly. Next on our list is Infy. We'll pull it back to the 15-minute chart. I would say support of 1931, resistance of 1963. It did break out higher to 2008, which was the 52-week high of the year. This is TradingView if you don't already know, and the link is in the description below. A lot of time, guys, how I'm finding all of these stocks is Trade Ideas, which they're also having an open house July 23rd for a week where you can test the entire software for $8.88. Pretty much you can make that back in the time that you are testing the software. And you can get the AI ability where you get to see what the AI is choosing. They actually have 3 now. So one's more aggressive, a little bit more conservative. So you can definitely check that out. But back to Infy. So Infy has 1.8 billion in the float, and it was 77% short float volume on Friday. Let's pull it back to the 1-year chart. It is breaking out like crazy, pulled back, and it had a lower day on Friday, and now it's right at the 20-day moving average here, and then it almost touched it and ran back up to the 9 EMA. So if it breaks this 9 EMA, which is 1951 for sure, that's right in the middle, I think that's probably going to be a resistance point as well. So keep this one on watch for further breakout. After that, we have SRDX. Put it on our 15-minute chart. Again, testing the 52-week highs. 59.90 was the high set on Friday. So I do have that as the resistance to be broken out. 59.25, just below the prior 52-week high. So looking for that as a support. You can see on the daily, it's just been upward trending basically since it broke out back here at 39.85 back in May. Next, we have BLFS. Again, 52-week potential breakout going on. 1967 is the support I would look for, and 2080 for the breakout. And we look at it on the yearly chart. Nice upward trend overall. So for BLFS, it does have 8 million in the float and 43.23% short flow volume. So I would expect that if it does break this 2080 level, that it could go ahead and surge further because it is a lower float. However, it is up at the 87 RSI, which when we saw it back here, same thing, it pulled back a little bit and then it hit the 20-day moving average and surged again. So if this one does pull back, it could pull back to about 1450 or the 20-day moving average before I would anticipate it to run up again. Last on our list is Glmd. So we would go ahead and get rid of these like I was showing you earlier. Those were just for the Friday's watch list that I did. Going into the week, I would say this one, it does have potential more move that it could run up. I would say maybe up to 1650. However, this 1567 level, it's held pretty good resistance so far. So if it breaks that, it would go up. However, I do feel more short bias lately since it has gone from 10 to 1567, so roughly 50% gains in 2 days or 3 days really. So I would watch this one very carefully. I think there will be movement on Monday, but it's right at the bottom of the long list because if it breaks that resistance, it will continue. However, I think people are looking to be potentially taking gains because it is that 3rd day of a lower float. It does have 9.6 million in the float, and I think it could pull back easily to 1250, if not a little bit further before it runs up and surges again. Now, this one did have information, an analyst saying that it is worth $59. However, analysts do not really dictate what's going to happen on a day trading basis, but that is something to keep in mind. For the shorts, we have Nvro, which on the 15-minute chart here, we'll pull it back. I would say that a support of 55.56 and a resistance of 58.70. This one does have 29 million in the float. It did have a really bad opening of the week on Tuesday where it dropped down big time, gained a little bit, and then had a massive drop again on Friday. So keep this one on watch for continuation short. It is at the 52-week low for the year, and overall you can see it does look like the next support level potentially all the way down to $50. So it could have $5 more to the downside. Then we had INGR. We'll put it on our 15-minute chart. It did hit the 52-week, close to the 52-week low. So actually it created a new one. So I would put that as the support, 98.54 right here. It did go a little bit lower in the pre-market. However, many people don't see that. So 98 might be the next level of support below 98.50. Resistance of 100. And when you look at it on the year, you can see it pulled back on a 5-year. Again, we do have potential support down here at 95, so another $5 potential move to the downside. It does have 71 million in the float. After that, we have Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. It did find a support here, and then once it broke that support, it dropped down to 22.62. So I would put 22.98 as resistance and 22.62 as support, which is going to be very, very close to the year low. And we'll pull it back. You can see if we were to break this, I think it could go down to 20.73 and then on down further potentially to 18.50 maybe down here. So keep that one on watch for short. They do have 238 million in the float. After that, we have LB, Luxury Brands, I believe this is. They shortened it to LB, and you can see right again at the 52-week low. And I would say support of 31.39, resistance of 31.77, and it does have 220 million in the float. Final one for our short list is Keurig Dr Pepper. They did merge together, and the I believe that it was Dr Pepper that had merged with Keurig, and they were paying out $127 a share or something like that to the owners as of July 9th. So that's why you can see that we had this massive drop as of July 9th. Let's put on a 5-day chart. So it still has that $110 there. So it dropped all the way down here. It came down to the low of 13.39. It dropped and then it surged up because many people had stops that were in place. And then it went ahead and it's just continued running on up to about the 25 level, and then it pulled back down. So I would look for 24.70, there, that's a better depiction, 24.70 of resistance, and then 23.95 for support for a further shorting of the stock. Since it does need to go ahead and sort of perform overall. But if it were to get down to that 13 level or 15 level, I would say it would probably be a good potential long-term swing from there. Some long-term swings potentially that I have out there are going to be UMC. I would say put it down here at the low of the year, just below that. I would say 34.50 if you were to get in now, so give yourself $2 range, because it looks like it could be finding support here. It bounced up a little bit, could be finding support to run up a little further. We also have CCIH for a longer term potential swing. I would say if you get in here, give it a good 45 cents, just about 95 cents as support to be broken, because if it breaks out here, it could continue on up. But I would actually look more for an entry around 124 than right at 143. Go ahead and minimize that risk a little bit. And as well as Seed Company. I would look at this one for potential longer term swing. It's starting to upward trend overall, and it looks like if you were to get in, I would actually give it like a $7 support for my mental stop for a longer term overall swing, as it could go up from here. As always, guys, carpe profit. If you like my content, please like and subscribe. And as always, put in the comments if there's anything that you'd like me to mention in the videos. Definitely sign up for my watch list. Definitely worth $1 a day. You can see it's got a performer at least every day to the long side and to the short side. Have a great one.